Good morning. I wanted to share a guided meditation with everybody who would like to join in. As I go into my breath, I like to connect the idea with myself stepping into this cave in the sense of, or some people like to envision a bubble of light. And as you use your breath, you're creating this space, this cave or a bubble to safely enter into. And it's symbolic of going into yourself, into your being, into your body. So the breath is like the key that unlocks the stone in front of the cave, or the breath is infusing that light, that bubble with space, and it is inviting you into your being. So when I start meditation, I do it with breath. I like to close my eyes because for me that invokes more of a inner knowing, this centered, going inside. And as I tell my classes at Rockwell, my students there, that we're beginning a conversation. Theo, we're doing this right now, okay? Chill. He wants to run. But you are starting a conversation with yourself, developing your own intuition and tapping into that deeper knowing of what your body is currently experiencing as you go through your day-to-day life, what is stuck, what's flowing and open, what is like an energy vampire. And the idea behind that is just like some idea that you're holding on to that is sucking your energy. We all know how it feels in a present moment when we are in a heated argument. Just take a second and put yourself there. The last time you got in an argument with someone, coworker, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, sibling, there is a very charged energy about that moment, and it's not infusing you with inspiration or optimism or love. It's a heavier, toxic, draining, exhausting, frustrating, irritating, closed off feeling. So these emotions that haven't been processed, haven't been cried out, haven't been exercised out, haven't been talked to my best friend out, haven't, danced it out. There's a million different ways. And some of them we do subconsciously, and some we are intentional and we realize the benefits that they give us. So as you create space, entering into the cave of meditation or entering into your bubble of light, of introspection, as you do that, you are conditioning your intuition. You are raising your vibration or frequency. And if that's not an idea you're familiar with, there is so many amazing YouTube videos, spiritual TikTok, witch talk. I recommend just Googling anything that you're like, what the hell? I've never heard about, the energy matrix or the meridians or chakras in my body. And a lot of it has, this kind of nonsensical rep. But the truth is, when you dig into this information and or practice yourself by creating that bubble, going into the cave without any expectation about what's going to happen, the only intention you have is getting to know yourself, how you feel. What is your body saying to you? What kind of release do you need? Because as you try and experiment with your own life, you will have evidence for yourself of the significance, of the impact, that, of the deeper knowing, which will essentially change your whole life experience when you are operating at a higher frequency or a higher vibration, which is when we're tuned into our truth, when we feel invigorated, when we feel full of service or love or connection to the earth, to a complete stranger. Those are the aspects of ourselves that we are getting in touch with and creating a space to know ourselves in. Because your current life experience, no doubt, is reflecting years and layers of trauma and being misunderstood and confusion and stress. And, we each have our own childhoods, our own, every stage that we are interpreting life through, that's creating a lens, that's creating the shell of, impulsivity in our responses, in the way we talk to each other, and the way we start to close ourselves off because we're trying to protect these aspects that have to be right. That you just can't deal with the idea of somebody else being right, because then you have to do some work, and the work is internal. It's asking yourself why that pisses you off so much, why you're in denial, why you can't just talk about an idea, a new idea, or the experience that is at hand. So just like conditioning our physical bodies, you don't show up to the gym the first day and decide that you've seen a snatch at the Olympics done by this Chinese man and decide you're going to snatch your body weight that day. Never have been in the gym before, touched a barbell, done a deadlift. You're going to snatch your body weight. Okay? We don't start there when we're training and conditioning our bodies. You start with the basics, and then you develop the skill, the strength, the mobility, the knowing, the security. So we have to do that for our metaphysical self that is just as real as your physical. Not only that, it gives your physical chi, it gives it life, it gives it energy. Without that metaphysical self, your body dies. It stops. Your brain, all the functions, they all stop. So it's time that we understand these aspects of ourselves, and that we give ourselves the space to develop that skill, the strength, the stamina, to eliminate, it's a process. Every aspect of your perspective, of your understanding of this life, has been shaped in some way. And if it's not uplifting you or the community that surrounds you, then it's an energy vampire, and it's taking your life essence, your vitality. It will even manifest as illness, disease, or injury, or emotional, psychological breaking down, because our bodies are asking us, they're built to function a certain way. And so as we do not clear and support our bodies through nutrition, through exercise, through emotional detox and or introspection, acceptance and love, experiencing all these higher ways of being, right? And learning how to do that. Most of us haven't been taught how to do that, but there are practices that exist, and there's lots of people who just fumble their way into it. Most of my practices have just been, you know what, that sounds like a good idea. I'm gonna go running at dark 30 in the morning, in the dark, by myself, with my dog, no leash, and we're just gonna bomb down the fucking streets. And I'm gonna listen to music, and I'm just gonna let my heart sing whatever it wants. whatever it wants. And I'm going to feel the tension in my body leave as I bolt down these heels and I just feel the weight lifted. I visualize it and I say, thank you. And I feel the release. I feel tears. I feel awe for the sky, for the stars, for the moon, for, the quietness, the stillness of the night. And this is creating such a magical bubble for me to have this conversation and to support and allow my body to release that which is not serving it anymore. So, one thing that I've been doing to help remind myself, because a lot of these patterns of existence that we're in are so automated that we don't even catch ourselves till we're spinning out. So you start to become aware when you shift out of that higher frequency back into a stuck, like frustrated, selfish, fearful energy. And as you notice that, one thing that I've been practicing is in that moment and that space is reclaiming my energy. So I become aware of this is just really low vibe right now. I don't want to be in this space. I want to raise my energy, my frequency, my vibration, my love and passion for life and for myself. And so I'll simply take a deep breath. Again, the key to going in, tapping into your heart center, because we're going to make a shift in our metaphysical beings. We have to set the intention. It all happens through our mind's eye, through our consciousness, and through your free will. Your essence of you, every aspect, your consciousness literally has to say, I am giving permission to release the stuck energy, to release this karma. Because think about it, when you don't release it, you're going to keep pulling it into your life, and you're going to keep having these negative, confrontational situations happen that consequences are naturally going to follow through that behavior, which is karma, right? So we can change that cycle. As you feel yourself shift, I want you to close your eyes. And I don't care if you're driving, I don't care if you're at the office, I don't care where you are. You're worth it. And the effects that your energy and your metaphysical being continue and carry with you throughout the rest of your life. So take fucking control. Take a minute to pause. Close your eyes and breathe in through your nose. Let your shoulders drop. And then let it release. And in that space, I want you to say, or I invite you, if this speaks to you at all, but I give back to you the energy that is yours. And I take back from you that energy which is mine. And the energy that doesn't serve either one of us anymore, I release to the earth to be transmuted. And then I want you to take another breath. And after that breath, I just want you to feel. Do you feel any kind of shift? Without expectation, I should feel blah, 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 blah. We're interfering with our own knowing, with our own truth, with our authentic experience. It's not a thought process. It's a being process and being aware of the being that you are. So breathe in, relax, and after stating that and understanding and knowing that through the exchange it has shifted your energy, and maybe sometimes you don't even know what it was, so you can't be as specific, but by setting the intention of I am giving back to that energy that is not mine, this person that is projecting or bringing this energy or this interaction with me that is pulling me down, I'm giving their energy back to them. Just clear it. Take it out of my metaphysical being, out of this space, out of my body that is holding it. And I call back to me that energy that is mine. So the energy that you gave to them, that you gave to the moment, that you allowed, like you took your emotional body and invested this heavy thought or feeling about it. Ooh, just frustration or anger or disappointment or lack, fear. All of these things are heavier, denser energies. So when you say, you know what, I am calling back to me that energy which is mine, means I am willing to let go of that idea. This energetical exchange that I am having with that moment, with that experience, with that person. And I'm calling my energy back to me to be reintegrated in love, compassion, in my truth and in my center. Now, the general idea, the basic idea behind this is becoming aware of those things that are shifting your energy, your frequency, your vibe, and setting the intention that you want to lift back into that space, that feeling of homeostasis, of balance, of knowing, of calm, collected, creative, etc., right? And so you're becoming aware that you want to reshift. You connect in with your breath. You go into that vault. You connect with that idea of giving back the energy. You're not holding on to it and pulling back yours, and you're transmuting it, you're clearing it, and you're lifting it into this space of love and compassion. Knowing that that existence far exceeds that of your old ideas of confrontation or the need to be right, or the need to protect yourself, your individuality, your individual identity. Everything around us right now, the media, social media, the news, they want us to continue to perpetuate this idea of separateness. Any label you can think of right now that comes into your mind, any way that we have discriminated or separated ourselves from another human being, that is separateness. It's simply a label, and it's not true. And they want us to continue to perpetuate that. And they're very sneaky about it too. They make you sound politically incorrect or like an inconsiderate asshole if you're not willing to address or take on this label or continue to teach our children about it. Because what happens when we're in separateness and we can't see ourselves in the other human being, and we can't acknowledge our effects on the exchanges that we have with one another, and how much more powerful it is for us to come together in a space of understanding and compassion and willingness to just know that you are one and the same, male, female, black, white. I don't even want to continue the list. We can, because it's been how we've been taught to identify ourselves, and we've been fed this idea of fear that if we don't stand up for that, we're going to be in trouble. You're going to be eliminated. You're going to be lessened. They're going to walk all over you. You're not going to have enough for you and your family. Fear, 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 fear. But the truth of it is, when you stop and you see the person in front of you with nothing but compassion, love, and oneness in heart, you can know that for any individual before you. It might take practice. Again, that's what we're doing with the cave, with going inside, creating that bubble of light, transmuting these old vibrations, these lower vibrations, these lower ideas that keep us in separation. And when you do that and you authentically feel it, not something you just say, not just an idea, but it's an experience that you've had, because life's going to do that. When you create this cave and you go in and you see these things and you realize you don't want to perpetuate this idea anymore, that you're going to transmute it and be in a new way of being. And life's going to say, okay, have that experience, let's see. Because it's different when we say something than we have to actually show up and do it. Everybody can claim anything about themselves that they want to say. But the one that can show up and be, it's different. And so life's going to say, okay, be in that truth, be in that knowing. Because as you have an experience, you'll now know. It's not just an idea. And you'll need confirmation over and over again, and practice over and over again. And again, in love and compassion for yourself, not like, I'm messing up, it should be this, it should be that, I ought to be there by now, why this. This self-criticism is another thing that's separating you from yourself and from any opportunity to move forward. And so when you show up for yourself in love and compassion, and you fall into those old behaviorisms, those old ideas of separation, you can pause. And if you didn't, if you stormed forward, protecting your identity, like proclaiming your ideas and projecting them onto other human beings, you're going to have the karma that is tied to the experiencing of yourself in separation. If you project that out, that's what you're going to receive. Think about it. When you have another human being, maybe someone that you don't know or do, and they come up to you and surprise you with the warmest smile that's genuine, and they make eye contact with you, they don't even have to say anything. That's one being seeing themselves in the human before them. And you can't tell me that connection isn't worth your petty argument, your petty disagreement. You perpetuating ideas of the past of how your parents did it, and how your neighbor does it, and how the bishop at the church has told you to do it. That's not authentic. It's in separation. It's an idea from the past that we've all accepted. But because we are coming into our truth and into our knowing, into our hearts, connecting our metaphysical with our physical bodies here on this plane, this earth, here and now, the energies are shifting so that more and more people are knowing their truth. And we each have our own paths, we each have our own discoveries, we each have our own heartache. But when you know and realize that every experience that you've had in this life is here to show you something about yourself, how you feel about this life and the exchange that you just had, then you can honor it and see it all with the most compassionate heart, feeling authentic love for yourself for everything it's gone through. And as you've invested this time to come into your knowing and to understand and to feel and to release and accept that you can move into a better space that's connected with your higher knowing, that's connected with everything around you. And in that space, in that frequency, as you start to be in that vibe every single day, guess what happens around you? It's contagious. We know that. People say it. Geez, her life is contagious. Your being in your truth is contagious. People want to be there. People don't want to continue on in fear, in pain, in frustration, in disconnection. And what the fuck is the point? There is a point. It's your existence. It's your perfect, authentic existence. And if you don't know what that means, then go into your cave. Go into your bubble. Go in with your breath. Go in with curiosity. Go in with compassion. Go in with gratitude. Go in with complete humility. Because it might mean you're wrong. It might mean that you're living a lie. It might mean that your heart is so broken. You're willing to do anything that makes you feel alive. And every time you connect in with those authentic pieces of yourself, piece by piece is called back in, and you feel the wholeness. And that is what authentic peace is. It's your own knowing. I love you.